Hello everyone and welcome to a new series on this channel, Let's Talk. And basically what I want to do in the show is pretty much, look at any game, I find interesting and, tell you guys as much as I can about it and, if I recommend you guys playing it or not. So with that being said, let's talk.
The first allusion to another installment in the Metal Gear franchise started off with a giant troll by Kojima at the 2012 Spike Video Game Awards, when a teaser trailer of a new IP from brand new development team, Moby Dick Studio, was shown at the awards. A very cryptic teaser appeared showing a man with a strangely familiar mullet laying in a hospital bed with the very last image broadcasting the Phantom Pain. What's even more interesting is the CEO of Moby Dick Studios, Joachim Mogren, is an anagram for the name Kojima. Of course, it didn't take long for people to figure out that a new Metal Gear game was on the horizon. Hype built with the March 2014 release of Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, which I will do a review about, a 1-hour prequel to The Phantom Pain taking place 9 years before its successor. Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain can definitely be called the most unique and different game in the series. Chronologically taking place 9 years after Ground Zeroes, Big Boss, Solid Snake's father, wakes up from a coma after his old mother base, Militaire Sans Frontières, or Military Without Borders, was attacked by XOF, a strike force of Cypher. Snake is obviously confused and almost seems broken after finding out that he had part of his left arm amputated. His doctor also reveals to him that a piece of shrapnel had lodged into his skull and would render him blind if removed. So obviously Snake is traumatized by this news, which is shown over a span of short cutscenes portraying Snake 3 weeks after his coma. But then suddenly Cypher invades a hospital Big Boss is in after learning he was never dead at all. Snake is almost assassinated, but is suddenly rescued by another deformed patient in the hospital called Ishmael. Fun fact, Kojima purposely had the Phantom Pain mirror elements of Moby Dick. For example, when Big Boss first wakes up from his coma, the doctor calls him Ahab, who in the book is a man driven by revenge to kill the world that took his leg. Also, the first line in the book, "Call me Ishmael," is interestingly enough the first line spoken by Snake's rescuer in the hospital. But back to the story. Okay, so Big Boss miraculously escapes with Ishmael in an ambulance, but then after a series of events, Revolver Ocelot comes rolling in on his white stallion.
No, seriously.
To bring Big Boss back into the field of battle and bring his legend back to life. Big Boss is full of revenge from what happened to the old Mother Base and is here to kick some ass and get some payback from the group that cost his private army so much. But during his super awesome quest, he discovers that Cypher, and more specifically Skullface, the main antagonist of the story, are planning to unleash a devastating weapon that forces Big Boss to save the world while fulfilling his wish for revenge. I won't spoil the story for you guys, knowing that some of you would like to experience the end for yourself, which I totally respect. Now, the story in this game is, in my opinion, fantastic and serves the purpose of the game well, but compared to other games in this series, Metal Gear Solid 5 just feels weaker in comparison. With such a huge focus on the open-world playstyle and less linear gameplay, I suppose it would be very hard to keep the story up to par. However, unlike other Metal Gear games, the Phantom Pain is very open and inviting to players not familiar with the series. As you progress, cassette tapes are unlocked, allowing you to better understand the circumstances leading up to this game and how Big Boss built his private armies. The characters in this game are, as always in a Metal Gear game, well characterized.
Supporting characters like Kaz Katsuhiro Miller and Revolver Ocelot, my favorite personally, make this game so much fun. Troy Baker does an excellent job portraying Revolver Ocelot, who's kind of like a mix of a badass soldier and pseudo-western cowboy.
I do feel that Kojima Productions has gone all out with the open-world playstyle found present in this game. The vast desert of Afghanistan and humid jungles and safaris of Africa are shown beautifully through the utilization of the Fox engine. I also must say, it is just such a breath of fresh air to have something different in a stealth game like this. Controlling Big Boss with such open spaces pushes you to use your special gadgets, which can be unlocked through leveling up your R&D department at Mother Base. Oh, and that brings me to another point. Building Mother Base is a whole other aspect of Metal Gear Solid 5 in itself. Kojima really pushes you to develop your Mother Base as much as possible and do stuff such as send troops out to fight enemies, develop new weapons, gather intel, and expand the base. I personally love this addition to Metal Gear Solid because it greatly increases the purpose to gather as much as you can from the open world. Activities such as gathering field resources and faulting enemies, vehicles, tanks, weapons, are all valuable keys to success in building your mother base. But while you're out doing missions, make sure you do make occasional visits to mother base to boost staff morale and make sure everything is shipshape and orderly. Another new addition to this installment is a companion system. You can choose from buddies such as D-Dog, D-Horse, Quiet, an expert sniper with supernatural senses, and D-Walker. Each buddy has specific strengths and weaknesses, which makes all of these useful for very specific objectives. For example, D-Dog is great for sniffing out enemies and identifying them on your screen. Quiet is great for super stealthy missions, such as silently picking off enemies in your way. And D-Walker is great for more lock-and-load action missions, while D-Horse is great if you want to go from place to place quickly. As far as Metal Gear games go, the Phantom Pain has by far the most content in the series, and next to The Witcher 3, the most content in a video game this year. But I wouldn't count out Fallout 4. The plethora of side ops that are able to be done are stunning, as well as the amount of main missions, over 31 main missions. But what really makes Metal Gear Solid 5 a long game is the imperativeness to build mother base along your playthrough. This isn't like other Metal Gear games, where you can beat this in a few sittings. No, you will be spending at least a week trying to get everything in this game. The Phantom Pain is easily a 40 to 60 hour game. But seriously guys, take your time with this one, it's worth it. Rarely did I ever feel like rescuing a prisoner or eliminating heavy battalions was a chore. With one of the best intros to a video game I have ever played in my life. I mean, seriously, how you go from waking up from a 9-year coma in a hospital bed to fighting a freaking man shooting fire all over the damn place? Oh my god. But without a doubt, put the Phantom Pain at the top of your list of games to play this year, because with such addictive gameplay, beautiful worlds, and tons of content, you simply cannot pass this one up. And if this really is the last Metal Gear game in this franchise, it is safe to say the series has ended on a very high note. Thanks for watching, guys, and you have yourselves a great day.